Hello and welcome to today's Hustle Castle Q&A video, and just like the first one, I'll be answering your top comments within this video. And as usual, this will be the best place to leave your new questions and like other people's comments that you think are interesting and worth talking about. I also wanted to mention that I have an expedition video in the works, and that is expected to be coming out within the next 2 weeks. But because the expedition's got the same amount of votes as the Q&A option, I feel like that this video will be more beneficial for a wider audience, and just because of how bad the matchmaking is in the expeditions. But don't worry, that video is on the way, and it will be a full guide for brand new players with some helpful tips on how you can win for yourself, even if you are behind in power. Also, make sure you get subscribed if you want to be a part of future polls that decide what videos that I'll be making next. So on with today's video, and the first question will be this person here. What are the best amulets and rings that I should buy from the dragon for the boat and lighthouse? Well, I have made a recent video on the dragon with all the best items that you should be buying, and this goes for every type of fighter that you have. And don't worry if the dragon isn't around yet if you're watching this video late. They generally have the same items when it comes back around, and if you're specifically talking about the amulets and rings, let me go through the 2 items on each to give everyone a good idea of where to start in improving your teams for the lighthouse and gem base. And I assume you mean gem base when you said the boat. The first would be the Christmas decoration amulet. This item is going to be great for keeping any type of fighter alive, and my recommendation would be to use this on a tank to improve your gem base, but if you wanted to do better in the lighthouse, then I would actually recommend putting it on the person that does the most damage in your team. Now that will be specific whether it's a mage or let's say the Dragonborn combo, but that is up to you on who you think is best. The next amulet would be the Sacred Lotus amulet. This will again help keep someone alive, but this will be down to personal preference on which one you go for between these 2 amulets. When it comes to rings and you're looking for all-out damage, the missing component ring is going to be the best choice in this regard. Another great choice for damage would be the Worldly Serpent Ring. This will deal pure damage and can normally be a game changer if the enemy uses the anchor during the battle and if the wing wearer is still alive. The next question is by the Goonies08. Is the Frostdeath still number 1 in 2023? So this question is probably because of my top 5 6-piece sets video back in the beginning of 2021, so I'll answer this one now for how it is right now. The simple answer is no, and that's just because of the current meta with the Dragonborn combo. The Frostdeath was an amazing set, and I still stand behind that, but the problem is the Dragonborn combo still just destroys teams, and if you aren't using it and the enemy are, the odds are you're probably going to die. So just as a recap for new players that haven't actually started building sets yet, or if you're just at that beginning point of where you have begun starting sets, the Dragonborn combo is basically where you have a 4-piece Dragonborn and the armor and armor soul is generally going to be some sort of tank. I personally would recommend the Eclipse as the strongest sort of combo you can make, but the easiest sort of set you can go for would be the Paladin. It's just easier to get those resources, and right now the Dragonborn combo is still going to be the highest amount of damage you can get for your team on a single fighter. The next question is this one here. Could you do a video on whether you should be buying the Goblin or not, and their advantages and disadvantages? Now this one is going to seem biased considering I get free diamonds, but I can give you an answer based off my many years without receiving these diamonds. The Goblin is more of a nice to have and isn't actually that crucial to the game, and especially to very new players, I wouldn't see the need to be paying for the Goblin, and just wait until you unlock the portal and start earning some diamonds to start using them. You can easily earn enough diamonds for free with a little grinding, but at the same time you could buy the Goblin from the donkey for I think it's 35 days, so that'll give you some breathing room in earning these diamonds along the way, and then just buying them back and extending that time. The main reason why you want to get the Goblin is to have an easier life, so you don't have to click on all the rooms every few hours for constant supply of resources, or if you plan to not be playing the game for a few days, then the Goblin can be very beneficial in constantly giving you resources. Also, to everyone watching, remember to leave a comment on anything you want to know about and get subscribed to not miss the next Q&A video. Moving on to the following question, and we have this one for Florian B. Just diving into ancient sets and started with the Incinerator, 5 out of 6 so far. Is the Dino-Wand still a good choice for that? The red dragon has just arrived. The short answer is yes. Even now the Dino-Wand is a powerful one to go for, but what you will find is that it will start to fall off once you get near the 30 million power mark. And the reason for this is because a lot of people would have focused on the Lighthouse, Cathedral and their hero, allowing them to increase everyone's max health and magic armor, making this item fall off over time. Now you could argue you can increase the fighter's spell power, but I don't think that could compensate enough for later on. So for the majority of the time, yes, this will be a great weapon when paired with the Rune of Wisdom for their extra splash damage, and it will only be something to worry about much later on in your time of playing the game. Moving on to the next question, what are the Might Stones and are they of any use besides some minor complement in the store? So to do with the first part of the question, what are the Might Stones? And they are stones that you can spend in the Colosseum store for the top 3 items. Now you will need to pair this with Rage Stones to get a particular item, but with the Might Stones you get these for entering a brand new league for the very first time, or at the end of the week as you get a bonus for staying in a particular league. Should you be spending diamonds on earning these Might Stones? I really would not be doing that. Obviously you might have a problem with missing a particular item if you don't spend diamonds, but at the same time if you spend months in earning these Might Stones, you're going to have an excess amount and not be needing to spend them. So this would be the worst case of spending some diamonds now and then actually have wasted them later on down the line. So just take your time, save them up over time and you'll be fine. And with that I basically answered the second part of the question. They can only be used in part with Rage Stones and that is the only thing they're going to be useful for. Maybe they'll bring something out later on, but the odds are this is what it's going to be for now, so you can only spend them on the first 3 items and that's all. Right, this will be the last question and this one is quite a good one. I stopped playing Hustle Castle around a year ago as I felt it was a money grab after money grab and 100% pay to win. Has it got any better or worse do you think? So for myself, I actually don't believe that there is a pay to win system in Hustle Castle. I know a lot of people do argue this case that you can pay for things to win your matches, but either way, even if you bought a 6-piece set, you could buy yourself an ancient gem, you could buy yourself many of those if you want, but it doesn't mean you're going to win every single fight. Heck, you could buy a 6-piece set and you could still lose many of your fights. It takes time to get better in the game. Yes, you could speed up the progress, but you still need time to get better in the game. So I don't actually think there's always a 100% pay to win system. I will give you one example though where I actually do genuinely believe that it's pay to win, but before I get to that point, I've always mentioned that you just need time to play the game and you should just enjoy it for how it is. There are many areas of the game that don't have that unbalanced system of where you're fighting someone so much stronger than you, but the only thing that I would actually say that would improve your experience and enjoyment in the game, and that would be to buy the premium. You could pay for diamonds if you wanted to speed up your XP and getting double ether from the dungeon, or if you wanted to get more particles light from the cathedral, but I really don't believe there is a pay to win system in this. There was a perfect example of what you may have expected, and there was this new set that came out, the Armored Breaker set, and basically within a week of this set being about, they did an offer for 2 pieces of the amulet and ring, armor and armor soul, and the weapon and weapon soul for a pretty hefty price. Now yes, you could buy that and get a 6-piece set straight away and you're all good to go, but if I spend my time in earning this as well, I have not paid anything and I can still catch up to where you are. So there's never really a case that you have a pay to win system where you're always going to be behind. There is only one little thing that I mentioned before, that there is a pay to win in this game, and that'll be through the royal quests. This you have to pay for to get them, and these items are generally better than most other items. So that is where now you are paying for a single item, that is better and now pay to win. But even after getting this item, it doesn't mean you're still going to win, so that's where the argument still doesn't happen, because there are always going to be people better than you out there. The only tip I can say is just enjoy playing the game for what it is, and if you've ever experienced the expeditions, there is almost no way you are going to be able to pay your way to beat those type of players, because the matchmaking is just always terrible. There might be some of you out there who are winning, because if I'm losing, that means someone's winning, but it is very difficult to find a balanced matchup. So yes, ending on your question, do I think it's better or worse? I would say it's technically worse because there is that single item that you can now get every single time, but for myself, I haven't paid for a rune event in over a year and a half, so I've not paid for an event for an extremely long time. And for rune events, I can just grind at it and still get it without paying for a pass. So again, there is no pay to win system, at least in my mind, but obviously this is a hot topic, so leave your thoughts down below on if you agree with me or disagree, if you think this is a pay to win. Leave new comments if you want me to answer those ones in the next video. And yes, I hope you enjoyed and thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.